Hello, I'm Leonard Nimoy. It's 1965 and the Vietnam War begins. Winston Churchill's legendary life comes to a close. And in Los Angeles, the Watts riots stunned the establishment. But there's also some good news. Two of Hollywood's brightest stars were born, Keanu Reeves and Brooke Shields. Also, by 1965, the James Bond movies had made Sean Connery a worldwide celebrity. Meanwhile, in consumer news, it cost $1.25 to see a movie. Now, sit back and relax and watch this 1965 episode of Our 20th Century.
The Heavenly Twins return to Earth in triumph. Copters from the carrier Wasp pick up Major James McDivitt and Major Edward White after they splash down in the Atlantic 98 historic hours from their blast-off at Cape Kennedy. In 4 days, they completed 62 orbits and traveled almost 1.75 million miles, 2.5 round trips to the moon. Major White's walk, of course, had the world agog. A little more than 2 months after the Russian stroll, the U.S. had closed the space gap. 6 days of rioting in the Negro section of Los Angeles left behind scenes reminiscent of war-torn cities. More than 100 square blocks were decimated by fire and looters, and few buildings were left intact. Firemen were harassed by snipers and brick-throwing hoodlums as they attempted to control the fires, many of which were left to burn themselves out. As the National Guard moved in to restore comparative calm, the losses by fire alone were put at $200 million. Nearly 3,000 were arrested, and authorities had to open abandoned jails to house those netted by the police. And Martin Luther King vowed to do all in his power to prevent a recurrence in Los Angeles or anywhere. The Palace of the Queen has lived through many historic events, and it's our privilege today to witness one of the most earth-shaking. The audience outside Buckingham may give you an inkling of what's going on. Who's been getting in the oldsters' hair the past few years? Why, the boys who invented hair, the Beatles. Fresh from an audience with the Queen, they hold medals, indicating they have been made members of the most excellent order of the British Empire. The original announcement caused a minor uproar. A couple of MBEs returned their medals, but the raucous foursome accepted the honor quietly. That's more than you can say for the fans who stormed the palace gates. They made the state walls shiver with their moans and cries for the heroes. The Beatles, of course, have proven to be one of Britain's prime exports. They have brought in more foreign exchange than many industries. After all, they are an industry unto themselves, and the Queen saw fit to reward their economic contribution to the nation. This is the night that Hollywood holds the world spotlight. The annual Academy Awards and the bestowing of the coveted Oscars has a glittering audience on hand to hear Audrey Hepburn announce the Best Actor.
Rex Harrison.
Rex Harrison, of course, receives his statuette for his role of Professor Higgins in My Fair Lady, chosen as the Best Picture of the year. Audrey was his leading lady. It's a popular choice with the crowd that next hears Sidney Poitier named the Best Actress.
Julie Andrews and Mary Poppins.
Julie Andrews played opposite Rex Harrison in the stage version of My Fair Lady. Passed over for the movie role, she played Mary Poppins and parlayed the part of that bouncy governess into tonight's triumph. As Bob Hope put it, Hollywood is handing out foreign aid. Both winners are British.
Oh, it is lovely. I know you Americans are famous for your hospitality, but this is really ridiculous.
In a year of many outstanding movies, it was a chore to pick the winners. The night of the Oscars was a huge success.